Welcome to Momentum Monday. We are going to talk about taking control of your life, taking control of your business, taking control of your relationships, your mindset. It is extremely important that we know the steps that we need to take so that we can take control. Because as long as we don't do that, we're letting someone else be in charge of our life. And at the end of this video, I am going to have a special tip that is going to be extremely powerful that I want you to know about taking control of your life. I'm going to talk to you about the 5 things that you need to be aware of and pay attention to if you really want to take control of whether it's your life, your relationships, your mindset, your business, the things that you want to succeed at, the things that you want to be better in your life. You've got to know how to take control. And in any of those areas, these steps that I'm going to show you are going to work. There are 5 steps. The first one is core values. You have to understand what your core values are. Now, people think there are different types of values. So for example, they'll say you have your personal values and you have to figure out what those are. You have to figure out your values in your business, your values in your relationship values. Well, I'm here to tell you there are not different types of values. There is one type of value, and it spreads across all of your life and all of the different categories of your life. If you think that you're going to have different values in different areas of your life, you are going to wonder why you are always feeling stuck. And you will not get past a certain point of success because you can't until you figure out what your core value system is. The only core values you have are your personal values, what you believe, what you know to be true, the things that you think are important, what your priorities are. Is family a value for you? Is integrity a value for you? Is wisdom something that you value? Is honor something that you value? If you cannot decide and speak very clearly to what your values are, you will end up being all over the place with your values. And those of you who've been with me for a while, you've heard me talk about how when you make decisions, you don't change your value to fit the decision and think, well, I just have to sacrifice this for a little while. What happens is you change your decision to fit your value. Because when you do that, all of a sudden you start to see things mesh together in your life. Have you ever looked at someone and thought, why does everything good always happen to them? What is it that they're doing that I'm not? That's why. It's because they have their core values figured out and they will not veer away from that unless they won't veer away from that, period. But their decisions are based on their values. If it falls outside of the value, if a decision makes them sacrifice a value or change a value or tweak it a little bit, they won't do it. They won't. The second thing I want to talk to you about is core motivations. The things that motivate you. What motivates you? There are actually only 2 things. You might think, well, money motivates me, or having a good relationship with my children or my spouse or a friend, or because I want to get in shape, and so that motivates me, the way I look. Those are all secondary motivations. There are only 2 motivations. One is fear and one is desire. That's it. Those are the motivations. If your motivation for your health is fear, it might look something like this. Oh no, I'm afraid I'm going to get fat. I don't want to not fit in my clothes. I'm afraid that I won't be as accepted in my business, or my colleagues will judge me if I get overweight. That's based on fear. Desire looks more like this. Oh, I'm excited. I want to be healthy. I want to feel a certain way. I want to look a certain way. I want to be professional, and I feel like I look more professional when I am thinner. I feel healthier, or I want to be healthier. It doesn't matter if your desire is health or vanity or being professional, because you can want to be professional and that's not necessarily vanity. But there are so many different things you can have a desire for. But if it's a desire is generally healthier, but fear can be healthy too. You can have healthy fear of something. For example, if a bear is chasing you, now all of a sudden you're afraid, that is a healthy fear. But fear of what someone else might think, fear of not being good enough, fear of not being the right thing, that's totally unhealthy kind of fear. So I want you to think about what your motivations are and decide, wow, am I doing this because I'm afraid of something, or am I doing this because I have a desire for something? And it's really easy to trick ourselves and pretend like it's the opposite because it sounds healthier. So I might want to like really work hard and do a good job and make my YouTube videos really good, really powerful, something that can really help someone. But I can be doing it for healthy reasons and think, okay, I have a desire to change the world. I have something that I understand, something I can teach that will help other people. It will help change lives. And I have a desire to do that. I have a desire to make the world a better place. Or I have a desire to give the best of myself. I have a desire, it could be that I have a desire to make more money. And that's all fine. That can be totally healthy. I have a desire to create more income because it's exciting for me. It's a game. I feel like it's like sports to me. I love being able to increase that dollar amount and figure out the strategies and the ways to win in that money game and figure out ways to make more money. So that could be a healthy thing. But if I am doing it for the wrong reasons, if I'm doing it for unhealthy reasons, then it might sound something like this. Okay, well, I have to, in order to be good enough, I have to make more money because I've already achieved this level of success. And if I don't continue achieving higher levels of success, then that means there must be something wrong with me, or my self-worth is tied around being able to achieve more and being able to make more. So it can be on either side of the spectrum. It's what's actually healthy in your heart. If your heart is at a peaceful place, if you are doing this for reasons that help you grow, that help you expand, that help you become more and make the world better, those are ways that you can identify if it's a healthy or an unhealthy way to look at it. The third thing I want you to think about is your core vision. You might have these grand plans. You might have a great idea about what you want to do. You might have great strategies that you work through, and you might be doing things that create success every day. But if you do not have a core vision, you will end up creating success here and success here and success there. And you might create success all over the place. But to create a movement, to change the world, to put your stamp and leave a legacy of what you had to offer. And you don't have to do that. But the beautiful thing is, without trying to do that, if you have a vision and you know what the result is that you want, you're looking at the beginning from the end. You're saying, this is what I want. So these are the steps I'm going to take to make that happen. If you just look in close to yourself and you're thinking, okay, well, I want this today and I want that today and I want to create this success today, I want to make a good YouTube video today, that doesn't really help look at the vision long term. And I want you to think about this. There are people who, I'm sure, we've all had someone who we love or we admire or we respect who has passed away. And this person may or may not have contributed anything that the world realizes them as famous, but they're famous to you. My mom, I just lost my mom in August of last year, and she's famous to me. She's a legend to me and to my siblings, and she's a legend to the people who had the honor of connecting with her. She wasn't perfect. She had her faults, but she touched people's lives and she raised a standard in people's hearts and minds. And the people she connected with felt important and knew that they were valued. This is something that she left behind. She didn't plan that she's going to leave some big legacy, but she had a vision. She knew what her values were, and she knew what her motivations were. She knew why she wanted to achieve these things. She knew why she was doing what she was doing every single day, why she was making those kinds of choices. Okay, the fourth thing is core belief. You have to know what your beliefs are. Do you really believe you're of value? Because some people really don't. Do you really believe that you have something to offer? Deep down, I know you do. You know that you have something to offer, but the fear gets in the way, that unhealthy fear that we talked about. And so you're motivated to maybe not do something, not step out and be who you could be because somebody might think you're bad, or somebody might judge you, or somebody might leave you a nasty message on Facebook. So we end up not doing anything. So I want you to think about your core belief, because if you really believe that you have something to offer, and I'll just tell you right now, I know anyone, everyone, if you are watching this, you already know. You already know you have something deep down to offer, and you know it's big, and you know it's beautiful, and you know it's going to touch people, and you know it's going to change people. But if you cannot sustain the belief, if you keep jostling back and forth between the fear and the belief and the what your motivation is, you're going to struggle, and you will constantly have that struggle. How many of you have, like today, you have something that you feel like you have something more, you are more than your being, and you know it, but this is going on for years. And you've thought this many, many times, and nothing has changed. And the reason is because your core belief. You don't let yourself listen to the core belief long enough. It's not that you don't have a core belief, because I've worked with enough people all over the world to know you have a core belief, and you know, you believe, but sometimes you get afraid. And that voice that tells you maybe you're not good enough, maybe it won't work. What if you end up making a fool of yourself? That voice, you listen to that voice too much. The other voice is there, and you know it is. So think about your core belief. Think about if that is something that you need to work on this week to really analyze and figure that one out. The fifth one is to take personal responsibility. Now that one seems kind of out of place with the other ones. Oh, vision and values and motivations and all of those things. Why would I include take personal responsibility? Because if you really want to take control of your life, you have got to take responsibility. When I say take responsibility, that means the buck really does stop here. Some people talk like, oh yeah, the buck stops here, but that they're just saying it's just a platitude. If the buck really stops here, then guess what? If something didn't work, if your life isn't where you want it, if you can't figure out how to get unstuck, it is on you. Take responsibility. Take the blame. Yes, the blame for that. Because you are where you are because of the choices you have made. You have earned exactly where you are right now. But the beautiful thing about that is if you've earned exactly where you are, then you can do whatever you want to get yourself out of that. You are in absolute control, and you can make that decision. But if you don't take responsibility, there will always be blame for someone else. And if you're blaming someone else, then there's nothing you can do about it because it's their fault. And so the beautiful thing is that it's your fault. My life is my fault. And when something happens that I'm not liking, if it's my fault, I can look at it and go, okay, what is it that I can change? Nobody else is responsible for this. So to take responsibility, one of the things you can do is plan your daily routine. Plan what you want to do daily so that by the end of the week, you will get the result you're trying to get. Because if you get the result you want at the end of each day, then you'll get the result that you want at the end of each week. And you'll get the result you want at the end of each month and year and 10 years. And that's how your life will go. So that's how you take control. Now, I'm going to leave you with one final tip that is really, really powerful. And it might even be more powerful than any of the other things I talked to you about. And it's this: let go of the things you can't control. Now, don't get it twisted. Do not get it twisted, because the things you can't control, a lot of people, what they do is they'll lie to themselves. They'll say, well, I can't control that because it wasn't my fault and it was someone else's responsibility. So the things that they should be taking responsibility on themselves, they try to put it off on someone else. And they say, well, I can't control that. Now, don't be doing that, because you can do amazing things. You are crazy awesome. And I know you have it in you. So let go of what you really can't control and then take over what you can. You got this. And remember, don't just think different. Be different.